Hello everybody, today we're having a quick look at the Hardy's multi-regional Cabernet blend. It has a special bin series, it's a D670. Hardy's has been making a multi-regional Cabernet since 1865. There's all kinds of history attached to why he couldn't use certain regions at different times. But what it is now is McLaren, Franklin River and Coonawarra. Now as three different regions, they make very different Cabernets, and just for my limited understanding of how to differentiate between the three of them, Coonawarra for me is more about a dusty red brick kind of nose. It's going to give a moderate red fruit characteristic on the palate, and I often pick up a lot of tomato stalky or tomato leaf kind of action as well on the nose. The McLaren Vale is for me more savoury. It has certain components of spiciness and savouriness, and I really love the textural luster of Coonawarra, of McLaren Cabernet. There's not a lot of it, but I guess my benchmark's probably something like the Darrenberg, the Coppermine Road, and the thing that attracts me about the Coppermine Road is its great longevity and that sort of white peppery component, which is also good. Franklin River, cooler than the other two regions. It evokes a mintiness, a lighter sort of elevated kind of component, and also very, very good structured tannic structure. Wines from that part of the world, particularly reds, are super long living. Usually from Franklin, I'm looking for Rieslings, I'm looking for Pinots. Cabernet is quite relatively rare relative to the others, but that's the blend. I think it's about thirds each, although I can't pick up anything in the history about what the precise blend component of it is. The other interesting thing is this particular wine is quite contentious. I love it when wine critics disagree, and this is a perfect example because James Halliday gives it 97, sees it living out to 2055. I think I'll be very fortunate if I make it that far. Hugh and Hook looked at it twice. First he gave it a 93 and then gave it a 94 the second time, and he sees it to the early 22s, some 2022. So it's a big difference in terms of people's projections, and it just goes to underscore how differently people look at things on different days, how they're feeling, what they're eating, who they're arguing with, etc., etc. But super interesting nonetheless. So here we go. Color's good, dark, rich. Don't know if you can see too well, but the legs are super. Really, I'm using the same wine glass these days for every single tasting, washing it the same way, trying to eradicate that slight difference in variable that you get from wines when you're tasting out of different glasses. It's not the ideal glass, but the kind of action we get in the office here, it'll last a while anyway. So certainly there's that Coonawarra thing, that brick dust thing that I was banging on about earlier. More red fruit than black fruit action. Thinking more about, yeah, cranberries, pomegranates, that kind of thing. And there is that notion of mintiness, which is definitely there. I really love the color. I love the depth of the wine. It's a dark, serious looking wine. There's some vanilla bean there, probably some out of the oak action. Not a lot of McLaren markers if you were looking for McLaren Cabernet markers there. So 14% alcohol. It's a lot, it's not too much, you're not getting the burn. It's always a factor if you've got a relatively high alcohol wine and nothing's looking out of place. It's starting to tell you that this wine is in balance, it's in form, and in sync. And I think that's probably at this stage in its life cycle the most impressive and most serious component of the wine. If you look at this now, young, understelden, it's got so much time ahead of it. The most interesting thing you're going to get out of it is this rock steady, front to end balance and linear focus. There's a great length to it. Tannins are there, but they're not shouting. In fact, if there's such a phrase, it's a soft, integrated tannin. Somehow that the tannins and the fruit have all just come together in the right place, and forget about the alcohol. You're just not seeing it. So I do have the faith that it's a long runner. This in about a year's time is going to be superb. I think it's a really good thing to buy. So around about $49 from us. and a bit of a recommendation. See ya.